Hello and welcome back to Kol Shira in partnership with Breslov.org and of course Yeshiva Torah Shimon. Okay, beautiful. And thank you everyone that joins now. And I want to thank all of our listeners that listen from all around the world. And thank you everybody. And thank you for all the comments and everything. Okay, this week's is Parshas Mishpatim. So Parshas Mishpatim, we know, is really an extension. It's a continuation of Parshas Yisro, right? Parshas Mishpatim is a continuation. Hence, Rashi says it starts off with ve'ela. Rashi says that if you started with Eila, it's something to become to paisel something, where you come to put the vav in front of it. It's come to be meisef. It's coming to add. And he says, the same way we got the Ten Commandments at Har Sinai, and that was from Hashem at Har Sinai. So too, ve'ele, these are also the commandments of Hashem. One shouldn't think that these are any different than the Aseres Adibros. Okay, so that's the first Rashi. Very, very beautiful, very understanding why it starts off with ve'ele. Now, another understanding is something so beautiful that the Chassam Sofer says, Ve'ela is the gematria of what? Rabbi Yehudi, you want to tell us? Ve'ela. Rabbi Yehuda? Are you with us, Rabbi Yehuda?
I was muted.
Oh, you were muted. Okay.
Was it about 42?
Well, so let's do it. We have the Vav is 6, and the Aleph is 7. And then we do a Lamed. A Lamed is 37, and then a Hey.
Yeah, so it's 42.
42. And so in the Parsha right now, in this Parsha, plus the word itself, makes 43. There are 43 mitzvahs in the Parsha, plus one, which is actually Shemitah. Okay, so you have it in the word ve'ela. It tells you can remember how many. The same way we did it when it came to the Makis. Remember we said we figured it out, right? We figured out what?
Well, Era and Bot.
Exactly. There were 7 and then there were 3, right? 7 and 3. So here you can remember that if you want to remember how many mitzvahs there are in the Parsha, so you have it in the word Va'ela. So that's something very, very nice from the Chassam Sofer. Very interesting. Okay, let's go on. So we know the Mishpatim are very, very important, right? These are the laws of Choshen Mishpat pretty much. Right? What happens if somebody wrongs somebody, and you know all the different things. If you had your ox that gored, and all the different dinei mammis, the different things that happen between all the different things that happen between people. And if someone hit somebody, someone hit a pregnant lady, well, how do you figure that out? And then there's so many beautiful understandings, and this is pretty much all. This is all Choshen Mishpat. And it's unbelievable. Now here's another beautiful idea that I saw, and it's brought down in a few svarim, that really when it comes to Choshen Mishpat, a dayan is supposed to try to make a pshara between the two parties. Right? Two parties come to the dayan, and they say, well, listen, he owes me this. No, I don't. No, he took this from me. No, I didn't. Right? All those things. Right? All of this stuff that you would go to a din Torah for. Right? So the dayan is supposed to try to make a pshara. He's supposed to try to make a compromise between the two of them. Why is that? Why do you think that the rule in Choshen Mishpat for a dayan is that he should make a pshara? Why? Do you think of that? Why should he make a pshara? To make shalom. It makes shalom. Let's think about it. 2 people go to Bezdin, right? 2 people go to Bezdin. One will win, one will lose, right? One will win, one will lose. Now, the one that won is great. He's happy with the dayan. He's happy with what he won. But the other guy, now he's going to say, well, I don't know, maybe the dayan was biased, maybe he made a mistake, and then he won't like the other guy anymore. But if they make a pshara, right? If they make a pshara and they agree and a compromise, so even the one that was really the one that was supposed to win, right? The one that was really correct, really, he'll be okay with taking a compromise because he knows he has the chance of actually losing everything. So at least now he won't lose everything, he'll get something. Not only that, they'll walk away with a handshake. They'll both shake hands, they'll be shalom, shalom, we want to have shalom, and therefore we make the pshara. A very, very interesting thing, and I think you're gonna like this, Rabbi Yehuda. Really, Mishpatim is an acronym for Hadayin, a mitzvah sheyase pshara terem yase mishpat. How you like that, Rabbi Yehuda? You like that? One more time. Hey, Hadayin is the judge. Mitzvah is commit. What?
The Balaturim, sometimes he brings...
Yeah. This is actually brought down in the Torah, I saw it. Yeah. It's interesting. It's very beautiful. But it's beautiful. Look at this. Again, Hamishpatim, hey, is Hadayin. Mem is Mitzvah. Mitzvah, commanded. Sheyasa, that he should do. Pshora, to make the compromise. Terem, right away, Sheyase Mishpat. Before he makes the judgment, try to make a pshara. And if you notice, even in today, I found myself sometimes, if you have a civil matter in court, so they'll have always an arbitrator. They'll have an arbitrator that they'll try to discuss the case with you and try to settle it before it would ever come to court. So you see how it even made its way into secular court, that they set up these ideas of the arbitrator to come to try to make an arbitration, to try to make that pshara between the two of them. So therefore, again, that same idea that there should be shalom. Okay, all right, that's a nice idea. I thought that was very, very nice. Now, here's a question I have now. Now we know that the Shulchan Aruch starts out. We have four chalakim in Shulchan Aruch, right? And one of the four chalakim, we have Orach Chaim, we have Yoredeya, we have Even Ha'ezer, and we have Choshen Mishpat, right? So Orach Chaim is our day-to-day life, how we live our lives, how we do things. Yoredeya is the way we deal with one and whatever. Okay, Even Ha'ezer is how we deal with the husband and wife and the Indian issues and Nida and all the different things. And then the last one is Choshen Mishpat. The last one's Choshen Mishpat. So they ask, wait a second. If the whole idea of the thing is to make a pshara, why didn't Shulchan Aruch actually start out with Choshen Mishpat? Why didn't it start out with Choshen Mishpat? Why is Choshen Mishpat all the way at the end after everything else? Why did Choshen Mishpat make its way to the end? Why is it not in the beginning? So listen to this, it's a beautiful idea. Look, we said that the whole idea of Choshen Mishpatim, is to make a pshara, right? If we would have Choshen Mishpat in the beginning of Shulchan Aruch, so someone may come back and think, well, that's a klal in Shulchan Aruch. That would be a big mistake. That would very, very big, very, very big mistake, because we know when it comes to any halacha, right? When it comes to Hilchos Shabbos, right? When it comes to Hilchos, there are the 39 malachas, and then you have the Av malachas and the Toldos, and so on and so forth. And we can't bend anywhere. There's no pshara. You can't say, well, it's not really like this, and maybe I'll do it like that. You can't do that. When it comes to your tefillin, have to be a certain way. You can't make, like we learned a couple of past weeks ago. The tefillin have to be squared, have to be rebuya. They have to be black. You can't be a pshara. Well, I don't really like black, maybe I'll make them gray. I'll make a pshara. No, it won't work. Only it'll work. The whole idea works when it comes to dealing dini mamanis, when you're dealing with different people, and that's the whole idea why the dayan is commanded that the dayan should make a mishpah. He should try to make the pshara. He should make the pshara in order to be able to make the shalom. Okay, to negotiate, because when it comes to other mitzvahs, they're non-negotiable. You can't negotiate the mitzvahs, right? A mitzvah is a mitzvah. But when it comes to dealing with people you can make the pshara. It's one of the reasons why I enjoy very much delving into real estate. Why? Because when it comes to real estate, again, that's a whole idea of pshara. The whole thing. Right? There are no real rules. You make your rules that you want. You decide what you want to pay. You decide. This guy decides what he wants to sell it for. You make a decision. I'll buy it in a certain amount of time, and so on and so forth. It's very, very nice. And that was something personal that I enjoy, and for that reason, because again, it's that way that there's no actual this is right and this is wrong, and as long as you're doing things again within the confines of law. I mean, you can't do things that are not illegal, that are illegal, and so on. Okay. Now, next idea here is, let's go over here now. The Torah, we said, so we started off by saying, ve'ele ha-mishpatim. Ve'ele ha-mishpatim. There was another parsha in the beginning of Shemais that started off ve'ele Shemais. Ve'ele Shemais, right? Now we also know that the Parshas from Shemais to Mishpatim are the weeks of Shovavim, right? What are the weeks of Shovavim? So we have the weeks of we have Shemos, right? Which is the Shin, right? And then we have Va'era, then we have Bo, Beshalach, Yisroi, and Mishpatim. Right? And that's what makes up the word. That's what makes up the word Shaivavim. And we know there's a pasuk that says Shuvu Banim Shaivavim. Says the Arizal, says the Holy Arizal, that Shuvu Banim Shaivavim is talking about the weeks of Shaivavim. So now I have to answer now. What do these weeks of from Shemos all the way to Mishpatim have to do with coming back, and what is really going on? Explains the Arizal something so amazing. Here we go. Buckle up for this one, because it's really an amazing understanding from the Holy Arizal. Here he goes. The Arizal says that we know Adam Arishan. Adam Arishan had in him contained all neshamas. All neshamas were in Adam Arishan. He contained all the neshamas. Excuse me. Now we know when Adam and Chava sinned with the Eitz Hadas Tovara, so these neshamas got scattered. But these neshamas had to constantly stay together. So here's what happened. These neshamas manifested themselves to the Dar Hamabel. The Dar Hamabel, right? These were the neshamas that were part of Adam Arishon that got scattered, and they manifest themselves to be the Dar Hamabel. And we know what happened. Everyone drowned in the Dar Hamabel. All right, they came back again. When? With the Dar Hafloga. Right, when they built that tower, that they wanted to wage war with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, right? They wanted to wage war with Hashem, so they built the tower. Do you remember how they came to build that tower? We learned about that. I'll repeat it one more time. It's very important to understand. There was Og Melech HaBashan. Og, well known in the Torah. Og, right? Og. He first appeared in Parshas Noach. Og appeared in Parshas Noach. And Og was a giant. And Og wound up hanging on to the teva. He wasn't in the teva, but he held on to the teva. Hashem let him hold on to the teva. And he managed to stay alive, hanging on to the teva during the time of the flood. Okay. What happened? Og didn't appreciate that HaKadosh Baruch Hu saved him. And he said like this. He says, wait a second. Hashem said that only those that'll be in the teva will be saved. But I wasn't in the teva. I was hanging on to the teva. Now, if I hung on to the teva, I'm okay. So then Hashem was wrong, he said. Oik said, Chas v'sholem, right? Chas v'sholem, Hashem was wrong. Chas v'sholem, Hashem did that to only save him. But he was a kafui toiv. He was a kafui toiv that he didn't appreciate that HaKadosh Baruch Hu saved him. So he riled up all of the people in the generation, and he said, listen, Hashem's not that important. Let's go wage battle against Hashem. And that's what he did. And that was the Dara Floga. And then they got this bad. They were scattered, and so on and so on. We know that Hashem changed their languages. That's where the 70 languages came from. The 70 nations came from at that time. Okay. Next one. There was another problem. What was the next problem? We had the people of Sodom. They came back in Sodom. What happened to Sodom? Sodom said, "Ein leis din v'leis dayin." There's no judge, there's no judgment. Nonsense. That's what the people of Sodom said. They were very cruel. They were very, 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 very cruel. There was one time there was a young lady that did a tova for somebody. They wound up putting honey all over her body, and they had the bees come and sting her to death. Right? It's a medrash. I'm not telling anything they didn't know. They had for punishment if the person was too tall, if he was tall, and then they would shorten him. If he was too short, they would stretch him out to be the right size. Whatever they were out of their minds. They did less laced in for laced dying. Okay, so HaKadosh Baruch Hu had to got rid of them. Right, HaKadosh Baruch Hu got rid of we know the story with Sodom and Amorah, right? Avram Avinu came, right? Avram Avinu, the Malachim came, right? Light was there, and Hashem sent the Malach, and the Malachim came, and the whole story with Sodom, right? And then we know that even today, I mean, it's always amazing if you're driving down to the Yam HaMelech, it's amazing that there's a sign on the road, actually, on the highway, that says you could turn over here for Ashes Lot. If you want to see this, the Ashes Lot, you could the wife of Lot that turned back, that became a pillar of salt. You could see it here, Mamish in Eretz Yisrael. It's Mamish here, unbelievable. She Mamish became a pillar of salt, and he could turn up the road. I didn't do it, but there's a sign there that says Ashes Lot. I didn't really have to see that, but it's there. Okay, all right, good. Okay, now we also know what happened was the next event that affected many people was what? Golus Mitzrayim, right? Golus Mitzrayim, right? Golus Mitzrayim. So in Golus Mitzrayim, we had a lot of problems, right? It was very, very difficult for us there. It wasn't easy at all for us in Mitzrayim, right? When we were in Mitzrayim, they were what? They were drowning the babies. In Mitzrayim, they were making us build bricks, do bricks. They were really working us very, very, very hard. It was inhumane, right? It was inhumane. They were the first Nazis, Yamach Shemam V'Zichram. They were the first Nazis. We know that the Nazis learned from them. They learned from the Mitzrayim, but they were the first ones that instituted these ideas to kill the children, kill, right? So listen to this. Look, the Mitzrayim was the fact that they drowned the babies in the water was a tikkun for the dar of the Mabul. That was a tikkun for the dar of the Mabul. And then they tried to build bricks, right? They were building the Levanim, the bricks, to build a tower, to go up to Shemayim. They wanted the tower to go up all the way to heaven in order to wage war with Hashem. What do we have to do in Mitzrayim? We had to build bricks. Says this is the Arizal. We had to make bricks. That was a tikkun for the Dar HaFloga. The fact that we had to make bricks in Mitzrayim. The fact that they drowned the babies in water. Why did they do that? They did that because we had to make a repair for the Dar HaMabul with the water. And the Dar HaFloga was the Levanim, the bricks, So therefore, in Mitzrayim, we had to make the bricks. Okay, great. So that encompasses the Parshas of Shemos, Va'era, Bo, and Beshalach, right? Shemos, Va'era, Bo, Beshalach is the Tekufa when we were in Mitzrayim, right? And leaving Mitzrayim. Yitzias Mitzrayim. Right, the Shibud of Mitzrayim and the Geula of Mitzrayim. Okay, now, but we still have Yisroi and Mishpatim, right, to make up the Shovavim, right, the Shovavim. So how does Yisroi? Because Yisroi and Mishpatim is all about laws. Siddim said, Leis din v'leis dayin. Leis dayin v'leis din. There's no judge, there's no judgment, no judges. So what is the whole idea? What's the whole idea of Parshas, in Parshas in Yisroi? What happened? Yisroi came along and told Moshe Rabbeinu how you set up the judges. You have judges for thousands, you have judges for hundreds, you have judges for tens, and so on. He taught him the whole idea of how to set up the judges. And Mishpatim, we said, are the laws for the Dayanim in order to make the Pshara, and that's the Tikkun, for the evil doings of the generation of Sidon. Now, it also we start off in Shemais. Right, so it starts off ve'ele shemais b'nei Yisrael haboim Mitzrayim. These are the Jewish peoples that are coming in to Mitzrayim. So the Arizal goes on to say, why does it say haboim? Because we're always doing that. We are always going into whatever different situations we're going into. Hashem is doing that through the Gilgulim, through the reincarnations. Says the Arizal that none of our neshamas today are new. We were all here before. We were all here in this world before, and we are back in this world to make different tikkunim. Says the Baal Shem HaKadosh, how does a person know what tikkun he has to make in this world? How do you know? Hey, I don't know. When I was born, they didn't give me there was no ticket. I didn't get a card that said, okay, you're here today. You're in this world. You arrived in this world, and these are your things you have to repair. They didn't tell me. I don't know. Did you get one of Zusha? They didn't send you one, right? I don't think they did that to anybody. How are we supposed to know? Says the holy Baal Shem HaKadosh, the great grandfather of Rabbi Nachman. He says that any time you see that something is shepherding you in this world, something that's bothering you in your avodas Hashem, that you really have a challenge with, you should know that is what your tikkun is for the world. Some people have a problem with kas, right? They get angry. Some people have a problem, they don't want to go to minyan. Some people don't want to learn Torah, it's hard for them. Some people have a problem with Shabbos. Some people have a problem with tefillin. Some people have a problem with tzitzis. Right? All the different things we see. And everybody knows, like it says, Yodeya inish benafshe. Everybody knows themselves what our shortcomings are, what our trials and tribulations are. And when you see that something is really challenging you, you know that is surely why you were in this world. You came to the world in order to make those repairs for those very, very things. Okay? So that's a very, very important thing. Hello, Mali. Yes, thank you. Everything's in the bag, Mali. Right over there. You can take it from the bag. Okay. I'm sorry. Someone just arrived, guys. I apologize. Okay. So that's an understanding now, right? Of the reasons why we're coming into this. We're finishing the weeks of Shovavim. And we know that the whole Tekufa of Shovavim, the main point is Shabbos. We know that Shabbos is the Mekar HaBracha, right? Shabbos is the Mekar HaBracha, is the root, the source, the foundation of all blessing that a person has in his week. Comes from the Shabbos. It comes from the Shabbos. If the person is spending a lot of time on Shabbos and he's enjoying his miras, he's enjoying the Macholei Shabbos. Right, says the Arizal, says all the Svarim actually, that you know that the Macholim Shabbos are on a higher level than even the Mon. Even the man, which is the lechem abirim. The lechem abirim, that was that special bread that came down from Shemayim. But they tell us that really the macholi Shabbos that we eat is really on a higher level. Is on even a higher level than the man that came down from Shemayim. Because let's think about it. When you go out and buy something for Shabbos, and you want to honor the Shabbos, that is the greatest nachas you give to the Rebbeinu Shalom, to believe in the Shabbos. Right? That when we say, when you stand there and you're saying Kiddush, when you're standing Yom HaShishi, Vayechulu HaShemayim V'Aretz V'Chol Tzivom, Vayechal Elikim B'Yom HaShishi. When you're saying that you bring a nachas ruach to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that you're being made, you're testifying, it's a testimony that HaKadosh Baruch Hu created the world in the 6 days and He rested on the 7th day. And because we're doing that, Shabbos is the highest day. And the Svarim all Svarim speak about this. This is not exclusive to any sefer. This is all the Svarim HaKadoshim are always speaking about the Maila of Shabbos. Shabbos, HaKadosh Baruch Hu said to Moshe Rabbeinu that he has Yesh Matana Bebeis Kenuzai. And then Moshe Rabbeinu says, what is it? The Shema Shabbos. Hashem said that I have a present in my storehouse. And Moshe Rabbeinu says, what is it? He says, its name is Shabbos. Do you know that Moshe Rabbeinu was so happy when Hashem told him that? Do you know that? And on Shabbos, when we say in the Shema Esrei, Yismach Moshe b'matzlas chelkai. Kevin, right? We say those words, Yismach Moshe b'matzlas chelko. In his chelik, what was his chelik? Do you know that he went to Paro in Mitzrayim? Moshe went to Paro in Mitzrayim and said to Paro in Mitzrayim, hey, Paro, you have your slaves, but if you're going to work them 7 days a week, they're going to die. You won't have any slaves. You should give them a day off. So Paro said to Moshe, okay, what day would you like to get off? Moshe Rabbeinu said, I want you to give them off Shabbos. Give them off Shabbos. In Mitzrayim, when we were off on Shabbos, the Midrashim tell us that we had different Megillas. We had some kind of Megillas. Maybe the Megillah was Sefer Yetzirah from Avraham Avinu. Maybe we had the Sefer Rezel HaMalach. I don't know exactly what we had. I don't know. But they had different the Ksavim that said that they would read over and they would mechazik themselves. That HaKadosh Baruch Hu said to Avraham Avinu, for 400 years you're going to go down to Mitzrayim. For 400 years you're going to be enslaved in Mitzrayim, but you're going to go Yetzu B'Rechush Gadol. Right? Yetzu B'Rechush Gadol. And why did that happen? Why did that happen? Because Avraham Avinu said to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, when he said that I'm going to give you Eretz Yisrael and everything, you're going to have children, everything, he says, B'mo'eda. How do I know? How do I know? So everyone attributes the fact that we had to go down to Mitzrayim, and we had the Golus of Mitzrayim, because Avraham Avinu said B'mo'eda. How do I know? But when you understand what we just learned from the Holy Arizal, when you understand what the Arizal is teaching us, and why the weeks start, why does Sefer Shemai start off with Ve'eleh, and why does Mishpatim start off Ve'eleh HaMishpatim? Ve'eleh HaMishpatim. Why does it start off that way? Now we connect the two together. And we know that that's the whole tekufa of Shaivavim. Shuvu banim Shaivavim. Shuvu banim Shaivavim. My children, come back. This is a time that we have a special time that HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives us a siyata d'shmaya, a special assistance in order to come back to make the tshuva, So we're going to have Shabbos this week, right? Beautiful, beautiful Shabbos. Right, this week is also Parshas Shkolim, right? We're going to read Parshas Shkolim on Shabbos, right? You know that, right? This week is Parshas Shkolim, right? First of the weeks, right? Parshas Shkolim. And Parshas Shkolim is very special, right? Parshas Shkolim is very special. Why? Because that's the Machzis HaShekel. You have to give the Machzis HaShekel. We learned so much about that. Why? Does it have to be a half of a shekel? It has to be half a shekel because a Yid always has to know he's not whole by himself. A Yid has to know he's not whole by himself. A Yid has to have a chavrusa. A Yid has to have a wife, right? You have to be a couple. You have to be together. two machzis hashekel, a half and a half make a whole. A half and a half make a whole, and we're only whole when we have somebody else with us. And that's an important, very, 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 very important lesson. It was so important, and we know that these machzis hashekel that were given in the Mishkan, for the Mishkan at that time, they were given, and what was made with, what did they use the machzis hashekel for? For the Adonim. For the Adonim. What were the Adonim? The Adonim were the posts. Those were the posts that held the beams, right? There was the beams that stood, and they had two sticks on them, right? And one stood in one socket, and the other one, they looked almost like a cinder block. You ever see a cinder block? Right? It's a tall block and has holes in it, right? That's what the Adonim looked like, and that was made from the silver. That was the pure silver from the machzis hashekel. That was the pure silver of the machzis hashekel. Why was that? And every single Jew, no matter what, it said he had to borrow money. He had to sell his shirt. Chazal never do that. Chazal never do that. Chazal never tell a person if you can't afford something, then you have to sell your shirt. You're potter. No. When it comes to the machzis hashekel, you'll even have to sell your shirt in order to be able to participate in the machzis hashekel. Why? Because everybody needs to understand. Everybody couldn't. Now it said that an ani can't give more than a machzis hashekel, and a dal, the poor person, the destitute person, can't give less. Everyone gives equal. And why? Because that was used to make the Adonim in the Mishkan. Those were the support. The support system for the Mishkan was equally supported by every single member of the Jewish community. Every single member of the Jewish community had an equal part in the foundation. Yes, there were those that gave more money and gave gold, and they used that for the menorah, and they used that to plate the aron and the mizbeach hazov. Okay, yes, and then there were those that gave the skins, and there were those that gave the silver. Okay, that's great, but you have to remember, where did the shkolim come from? Where did the adonim come from? The foundation. That's equally contributed by all of the Jews equally together. So here you have an understanding also of Parshas Shkolim. I just wanted to put that in there to understand the importance of Parshas Shkolim that we can appreciate. Okay, so we spoke a lot of different things here to really understand what Shovavim is and how important this last Shabbos is. We know that this last Shabbos you can make the tikkunim. You can make the tikkunim from all the weeks, right? We know that at the end, you can always make the tikkunim and fix everything all the way from the very beginning. We should all be zeicha to make those tikkunim this Shabbos, right? To try this Shabbos a little more zemiris, a little more Torah, a little more. Either enjoy your fish a little bit more, enjoy the cholent a little more. Do it l'kavod Shabbos kodesh. Do it, and it makes a tremendous difference when you're eating. I'm eating l'kavod Shabbos kodesh. Don't just eat your food. I'm eating the challah, l'kavod Shabbos kodesh. I'm drinking the grape juice from my wine, whatever you like to make kiddush on, right? Whatever you're making your kiddush on, you drink it, but you say l'kavod Shabbos kodesh. It changes the whole dynamic of the meal. It changes everything. It mamish changes everything because you're realizing I'm not eating this because I'm hungry. I'm not eating this because I necessarily enjoy it, but you probably do. But I'm eating this l'kavod Shabbos. I want to honor HaKadosh Baruch Hu Shabbos. So that's a beautiful understanding of really how important this Shabbos is. This is Shabbos Mishpatim. Right? When we have a leap year, then it's Shovavim Tat. Right? There were Truma and Tetzav are added, but we don't have a leap year this year. Right? So because we don't have a leap year this year, the Shovavim actually stops with Mishpatim. Okay? So therefore we start with Mishpatim. So this Shabbos is the most important Shabbos, so we should remember to make our best effort to enjoy this Shabbos very good. Now, I have a Torah that I prepared for you from Rav Nosson to understand this idea, to understand this very, very strange idea. We have this idea that if you can have an Eved Ivri, right? What's an Eved Ivri? An Eved Ivri is a Jewish person that either owed money, he caused damages, and he couldn't pay them, right? He caused damage, he couldn't pay the damage, right? Let's say the guy made a bar b'reshus harabim, right? It's in the parsha, bar b'reshus harabim. He made a hole in a public thoroughfare, and a guy came by with his nice horse, right? He had a beautiful, maybe an Arabian night horse, a beautiful horse, and the horse didn't see the hole in the ground, fell in, broke its leg, finished. Now that horse could be worth, I don't know, let's say it could be worth $20,000. Let's just say something like $20,000. All right, so now if this guy doesn't have the $20,000, he's taken to Bezdin because he made that bar b'reshus harabim. Now he has to pay the money that he caused the nezek, because he caused the nezek. He caused nezek because he made the hole. He doesn't have it. So Bezdin says, okay, we'll sell you as a servant, a Jewish servant, and this way the money will go to pay for the damages. This way the money will go pay for the damages. Now you should know it wasn't so easy to buy an Eved Ivri, right? Because if you had an Eved Ivri, you had to treat the Eved Ivri better than yourself, right? Better than yourself. The rules are very, very strong, very strange, very strong rules. Where if in the house there was one steak and there was chicken, right? And the Eved likes steak. So the owner of the slave has to give the Eved the steak, and he has to eat the chicken. If they have one pillow that's a nice fluffy down pillow, and there's another one that's a synthetic pillow, and the Eved says, "Well, I like the fluffy down pillow," so then the Eved gets the fluffy down pillow, and the other guy gets the other pillow. Fascinating, mamish fascinating. But there's another law. And this law is the law we're going to discuss now. If the Eved Ivri was not married, if he was an unmarried person, he was a single person, then the owner cannot give him a shifcha kananis. He can't give him a non-Jewish maid servant lady, right? Can't give him a maid servant lady to live with in order to have children, so he should have more servants. If he was not married, but if he was married, this is fun, it's fascinating, then the owner can give him a shifcha kananis that he can live with to have children that will be non-Jewish children of mind you, because again, she's not Jewish. The shifcha kananis is not Jewish. And she's allowed to do that. Now let's understand why. So here we go. You understand the question we're discussing here, right? We understand this, right? The guy's not married. He can't give him a shifcha kananis. You would think the other way around. You would think, hey, the guy's married, then hey, it's not nice if he has a wife, then why are you giving him a shifcha kananis, right? But if the guy's not married, you would think, common sense would say, well, okay, so give him, he doesn't have a wife, so give him the shifcha kananis. Now let's understand, Rav Nassan is going to explain us why it's not like that. So here we go. Ve'im begapa yovai, if he comes in by himself, b'zeh pasuk begapa yovai, anu royin oitzim riboy rachmanusa yizbarach afilu ala neiflim la'avoidus gomer. We see the great amount of compassion that HaKadosh Baruch Hu has on even those that fell onto a level of servitude completely. He who sells himself or is sold like we said because of damages or because of debts or whatever the case may be. Okay, right? He's causing a great blemish. And he's really drawn to the impurity of that nachash at kadmoni that we were talking about before with Adam, right? The whole idea with the Arizal, right? Shul bechinas avdos, which is the idea of servitude. Ki macher es atzmai le'evid gomor. If a person sells himself as an actual slave, an actual servant, Chazal tell us Migoydel apagam shel ha'eved k'may shomer b'seinu zal. Oizen sheshama al Har Sinai. That ear that heard on Har Sinai. Kili b'nei Yisrael avodim heim. That the Jewish people are my servants, Hashem says. What an honor it is to be an Eved Hashem. What an honor that is for us to be an Eved Hashem. He didn't hear that. That ear that heard that you're servant for Hashem, he didn't hear that. And he rather heard, he didn't hear that, so that's why he's selling himself for a slave. But hey, wait a second, you're already a slave to Hashem. How are you selling yourself? Okay, that's what Chazal is saying. And he went and he got himself a master. That's the problem. We just said the whole point of going out of Mitzrayim, leaving Mitzrayim, was that original Chet of Adam Rishon, when all the souls fell down, and they fell into the Dar HaMabel, and they fell into the Dar HaFlaga, and they fell into Sidon, and they fell into Mitzrayim. The whole idea was to fix the original Chet of Adam Rishon with the Zoom of the Nachash. You see how the lesson pulls together, right? From the beginning, I'm pulling. It's coming together here. Okay, Baruch Hashem, Haidul Hashem Ki Tov. Rav Nassan always helps us out. It's unbelievable. Okay. Kayadua, like Rav Nassan says, Kayadua. Yeah, it's Kayadua because we just discussed it, right? We understand it now. Lotzeitz mi bechinas avda shu zumas hanachash to bechinas cheres, to come to the idea of freedom. Shu bechinas kabbalas all Torah. That's taking on the beauty of the Torah, taking on the Torah. Ikra hacheres hu shedarshu Rabbi Seinu zal al posek chorus al haluchos. Chazal say al tikrei chorus, not that it was engraved on the luchos that we have. It was really engraved, but Chazal say don't say that it was engraved in the luchos. El hacheres, it gives us freedom. Wow, whoa. They'll say, but they'll say, hey, wait a second. Shabbos, I can't go to the beach. Shabbos, I can't do this. Shabbos, I can't do that. In the morning, I can't sleep late. There's man priyashma, and then at night, I got to make sure I daven ma'ariv. Where's the cheres? Where's the freedom? It seems like it's servitude, right? Seems like it. But look what they go on to say. Cheres. Ki kol adam, kol ma'ashem mekabel olav yoisa ol haparnasa. All right. Whoever takes on the yoke of parnasa, of earning his livelihood. Who nimshach b'yoisa achazumas hanochas chas v'sholem hakol kefi nefilosai liyagias v'avdos v'tirchais ha'olam. Right, trichas ha'olam. He comes into all the intricacies of the world of olam hazeh. V'al ken yizira b'seinu zal heve mima'at be'esek v'asik b'torah. Chazal say, do a little bit of business, but do a lot of learning. Do a little bit of business, but do a lot of learning. Like it says, Torah im derech eretz, right? Torah im derech eretz, right? You have Torah im derech eretz. It's not derech eretz im Torah. It's Torah, which is the ikar, and the derech eretz is the tafel, is the actual one. Like we know that like we have in Arai, the Torah is supposed to be the Arai. It's supposed to the keva. Torah is supposed to be the keva, the founded. That's my foundation. That's who I am. And then my work has to be like Arai, like a sukkah. Right? We have the house. It's called the diras keva, and the sukkah is called the dira Arai. Right? That's where the Torah is supposed to be to us. We're supposed to be to the Torah. Is supposed to be the diras keva. I say Torah's keva lachtecha Arai. Make for yourself the Torah keva, and your work you should make it arai. It should be not so important. Only he that studies Torah is really the free one. And he's going to explain why. Therefore, someone that sells themselves into servitude, to be a slave, Rahman al-Itzlan, who nimshach miyoy l'taykiv zu masanachash, he's really steeped in the impurity of the nachash. Me'achash shemachar etz atzmai, the fact that he sold himself le'evid gomer, upagam b'chol ha'Torah kulai, and he was paigim in the whole Torah. Shetluya b'yitzias Mitzrayim. The whole Torah is around the zeichel yitzias Mitzrayim. All the mitzvahs we do is zeichel yitzias Mitzrayim. And this guy's saying, wait, I'm still a slave. So he's going against the whole foundational principle of Torah, Shabbos. In Kiddush we say, Zeichel Yetzias Mitzrayim. It's all about Yetzias. When this guy says, no, I'm still a slave. Oh my goodness. Because we went out of servitude into freedom. Ein cheres ela mi shalom Torah, like we said. K'moshe kosav anochi Hashem Elokecha asher hitzeisecha me'eretz Mitzrayim. V'zeh mocher etz atzmoi le'eved gomer, and he who sells himself to an actual slave, because of his great stumble. Sheyorad ma'oid hitira ha'Torah la'adoinav sheyimsa lo'ishivcha kenanis lo'oid b'menu avodim. Because he fell down so much, and he was a married guy, so therefore he's allowed to. The master's allowed to give him a non-Jewish lady, a slave lady, to live with him. He can live with this lady. Hutter, it's mutter. Now we have to say, so you should have more slaves. They'll have children, right? They'll have relations, right? They'll procreate and they'll have children. So the master will wind up with more children, with more slaves. To me, this is a wonder. This God is an awesome wonder. How can a Jewish person be allowed to live with a shivcha? This is a very, very deep sin. Chazal tell us how this Aveira is so deep and so founded. We know that Avram Avinu is the bris bein Avram, right? We know that the bris kodesh is Avram Avinu. Avram Avinu stands in the gates of Gehenna, and anyone that was shomer the bris, and he wasn't bayil and nachris, he wasn't bayil a non-Jewish slave, this person, Avram Avinu will take out. Rahman l'tzan, ach baze'anu rayin oitzem yiridasai v'nefilosai shel zeh hanim kolevet. So now you see how deep this thing was, that this guy sold himself into servitude. Sheyored kol koch la'avdus gomer ad shehutta b'shivcha lo'heilin avodim kenanim la'adoinish k'may shekosav ki mishne schar socher avdecha k'may shomer b'seinazah. Ve'im kain sheyored kol koch la'avdus shu zumas hanochash. Yira nefula. He had a raw mind. It's terrible. Achahuta b'shivcha she'ika b'chinas hayira raw v'nefula miyai. This is the really falling down. Kishmir as a bris he yira kedusha, because we know the whole idea of shavivim, right? The whole idea of shmir as a bris, watching our purity. Watching the purity, that's Shmiras Habris. Here, Yira Kedosha Ki Sham Ika Hayira. That's the main Yira of Abusha Tzrichim Liyasyori Lizbayish Me'odoin Kol Haaretz. Because you have to be fearful of the Adon, not the master here. The Adon Kol Ha'olam. HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Me Adon Kol Haaretz Sheloi Livkam Afilu Beheter Chas V'Sholom. We shouldn't be even pregim, even Beheter. Something that we're allowed to do, we should always do it with the most amount of tznius and so on. Mikol shekain be'ezeh nidor iser chas v'sholom, not to be in for something for this chas v'zeh bechinas bereshis. Beris eish. Hey, look at this. Bereshis, beris eish. It's a treaty of fire. Bereshis yorei boishes. Right? Fear of embarrassment, boshes. Kisham Ika Ayira Kamavoy B'divrei Adeneinu Mareinu Rabbeinu Rabbi Nachman said Zal B'kama Mekoymes B'zeh B'chines Yosef Shohaya Shoy Me'abris Yosef V'shoy Rabbi Shenema B'ayas Olekim Ani Yoreh Yosef HaTzadik said, he said, Eso Elokim Ani Yoreh, I fear HaKadosh Baruch Hu, I fear Elokim. And that's how he was able to come over on the Ashes Pleitifar, because he said, Ani Yoreh, Elokim Ani Yoreh. Mi shezoichel is ibugay b'kedusha u'b'tahara, and he who has his relations with the wife, and he does it in a way of kedusha, in the way of holiness, with tahara and purity. That's the main fear. That's the main fear. And we know we have the laws, that we have all the laws of need that we understand, right? We have the laws of yin, and we have the laws of the vest, the time that you have to separate and so on, all because of the era. We don't want to be pagan in this idea. We don't want to be pagan. Ki bas Yisrael l'keshera nikras isha yiras Hashem. A bas Yisrael, we know, is isha yiras Hashem, like we say in the Eishes Chayil, right? Eishes Chayil, isha yiras Hashem. She's a God-fearing lady. If someone is involved, chas v'sholem, with a nida, chas v'sholem, with a shivcha, right? A slave, a goya, a lady that's not Jewish, right? A goya, zoyna, a prostitute. Chas v'sholem, she'eker hachatzifus ha'hepich mamash me'isha yiras Hashem. That's the opposite. That's the exact opposite of the isha yiras Hashem. Right? That's the exact opposite. Bevadai noifel l'teikef hayira. He fell to the teikef hayira raw. He fell to an evil yira. He's scared. He's scared of the tax government. He's scared of the IRS. This guy's scared of a dog that's running after him. This guy's scared that it's going to be too hot. He's going to be too cold. And this and this. And they're scared of all kinds of things. And people today have more anxiety than ever. Right? You look it up, it's unbelievable. We have the most conveniences and comforts in life than man ever had, but yet we have more anxiety today than ever. We also have today the woke movement, right? The woke movement, right? Those guys, right? Mitzvah Hashem, this guy Trump is putting those things out to law. He's outlawing all of those things. Baruch Hashem. But these are the pagamim. That's the whole idea. That's the opposite of the Isha Yiras Hashem. That's the Yira Raw. That's a bad Yira. Okay. So now, Yira Raw. Miyoi. Tehi Sitra de Maisa. That's the side of death. Bechinas Emas Maves. Bechinas Raglea Yeredes Maves. Her feet go down to death. Rachman Litzlan. V'hapal Pisha Yorad Kol Kach Zeh Even. Now, therefore, even though this Eved fell so low, and he did something that he had to get sold, or he chose to sell himself, Im kein yoymer ha'oymer, shehu kvar hefker gomer, ein loy shum tikva oid. If they would be that way, he would say that I'm hefker and I have no tikva. Like keinu, that's not the way. That's not true. Ki anu royim rachmanusa yizbarach. We see the rachmanus of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Ha'otzum v'hameruba b'li shir. We see how it's so, the Rebbeinu Shlem's rachmanus is never ending. It's so deep. It's so amazing. Shegam ba'evet sheyesh kama v'kan matinim v'azhore shezira Torah l'rachem olav. We know, like we said, when it comes to the Eved Ivri, you have to take a lot of Rachmanis. You have to have Rachmanis on him, right? That was the laws, right? Like we said, the steak, the pillow, the bed, whatever you have, anything you have better, if there's only one of them, you got to give it to him. That's Rachmanis. So he should be lost totally. If he comes in by himself, he goes out by himself. If he doesn't have a wife going into the servitude, right? He's not married. He's married. If he's a married man, and then he does this thing with his nezek, he causes the nezek, and then he gets sold, but he's a married man. Okay, V'amarad Rashi say She'im aim la'isha osalim salei shifcha kananis. So the laws are you can only give him the shifcha kananis if he's married to a lady. If he's not married to the lady, you can't give him the shifcha kananis. Why? Rakim bal isha hu olav. If she has a lady, should nemar im adoinav yitin la'isha, then the master can give the isha. Sha'adon mutalim salei shifcha kananis. L'chayra davar tamur. This is a wonder, like we started up by saying. Wait a second. You would have thought that if he wasn't married, then they can give him the shifcha kananis. But the fact that he's married, he's married, so why are you giving him another lady? That's not nice. But that's not the way the Torah says. The Torah says, no, if he's married, you can give him a shifcha kananis. If he's not married, begapa yavai begatza yetzeh. He comes in, he goes out on his own. Why is that? Look at this. You would think the other way around. Be'emes. The Rachav Yisbarach Nisgava miyai. Hashem ways are very, very, very awesome. Umashen nuchal imsaya behem eizet divrei tam al pi divrei Rabbi Seinus al anu mechayavim liyis yagei al imsaya al pi sheyefshel leilovay ala techunam. Right, you have to always find the person should be married. Why? It's very, very important. Hainu ki al pi shenafel avdus. Even though he fell to Abdus, he fell to servitude. Gomer an shehuta loy shifcha afal pi chen Hashem yisbarach chayishiv gam olav. Hashem's thinking about this guy also. Leval yeh nitcha, he shouldn't be pushed off completely. Legamri chas v'sholem. Al kein loy huter loy shifcha ki im kishayesh loy isha kishera bas Yisrael. If he has an isha kishera, a holy Jewish lady that's a bas Yisrael, even if the master gives him a shivcha, he has the opportunity to go back to his wife and make the rectification. He has an opportunity to go back to his wife, the Bas Yisrael, and he can have the relation. He can do that beheter. And not only does he do that beheter, he can make a repair for the times that he was with the shivcha. Fascinating. Afilu im yisa shivcha yesh lei tikvel istakin me'achet shekva neschabe b'kedusha idei bas avuga akeshera she sitra the isha yiras Hashem. The other lady is this yira ra. The Jewish lady is the isha yiras Hashem. That's the proper yira. Yiras Hashem is the proper yira. What's the main tikkun for all of those that are pushed off? Our children. Our children are our hope. Our children are our hope. Right? That they're born bikashras, again with the proper time, and the zivuk is done in the proper way. We do everything according to the halacha, mibas Yisrael, from a Jewish woman. Baal Cain. Even though they gave him the shifcha, he still has tikva. Kivar yesh kesher. He has the kesher. He has the bind. He's connected to the isha yiras Hashem, which is the bas Yisrael. Imaya noiseya shifcha hu heipich mamish haya nevad legamri. But that's why if the guy didn't have a wife. He goes in without a wife, he can't give him the shifcha kananis, because then he'll fall to the false yira. Because he doesn't have a Jewish lady to go back to in order to make the tikkun. Now it makes good understanding. Why only begapa yavoy, begapa yetzeh. If he goes in alone, he has to stay alone. He can't get the shifcha kananis, even though this is counterintuitive. We would have thought the other way around. Right? Western culture tells us the other way around. Hey, you're married already, so how are you going to go? You're going to give him another lady. You shouldn't do that. If the guy's not married, you give him a lady. No, but then the problem is HaKadosh Baruch Hu has the true Rachmanis. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu's Rachmanis is never ending. It's never ending. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu says that even if he fell into the idea of Avdus, and he didn't hear, those ears didn't hear that he said, we're Avodim to HaKadosh Baruch Hu on our Sinai. Even if he didn't hear that, and he can still make the repair going back to his wife. I thought this is such a nice lesson to really help us understand the whole idea of ve'ela hamishpatim, ve'ela shemais. We tied together the weeks. Now we understand how the weeks tied together, and we understand the weeks of the Shemais, Va'era, Boy, B'Shalach. Those are the weeks to make the repairs, like we said for the Dar HaMabel, Dar HaFloga. Right, for the Dar Mabel, Dar Floga, and then we said going down to Mitzrayim was the tikkun, was the tikkun for that. Why was that the tikkun for that? Because we had the babies were drowned in the yam, and then because the babies were drowned, then they made us build the bricks. So the yam, the Mabel was with water, and then the building of the tower was with the bricks. And then we said, why did we have to have? And what happened with Siddim? Where's Yisrael Mishpatim? Because Siddim said, "Leis dayin the leis din." They said there's no judgment. So the whole idea of Yisrael and Mishpatim are the ideas to show that there is a dayan, there is a judge, and there is a din. And we learned the beautiful idea of the dayan. We learned the beautiful idea of the hamishpatim, hadayan, mitzuva, sheyase, pshora, terem, yase, mishpat. Okay, so now we just tied the beginning to the end. Does anyone have any questions? Any questions? Before we close out the class, any questions? No? We can talk. It's okay. All right. Very good, everyone. Thank you all very much.